Welcome to my first tutorial. And as you can see from the title, I'll be showing you how to make Pompompurin's hat and Cinnamoroll's hat, which are literally the same pattern, which is why I put them together in one video. Another disclaimer, I do not have any more of this yellow. So while I will show you how to wear this hat, the only thing I'm crocheting today in this video is gonna be Cinnamoroll's hat. Of course, you know, like, since it's literally the same, like, I swear you're not missing out on anything. The only other thing will be this, but, you know, of course, I'll be showing you how to make that too. Also, it's really freaking hot in my room, so if you hear the fan too, I'm sorry. I'm gonna try to turn it off when I record, but it's so hot in here. And like I said before, if you're making Pompompurin's hat, it's literally the same. We're going to be doing the same thing. So whether you have white or you have yellow, we're doing the same pattern. I'm just going to start with the magic circle. So once you've got your magic circle, you're just going to double crochet 11 into it. We're not going to chain, just straight double crochet. You've got your 11. Now you're just going to pull on your tail end lightly. Now it should be looking like this. Now we're going to slip stitch into our first double crochet, which is right here. So if I separate it, you could see this is our first double crochet. We're going to go above it into this stitch right here. We're just going to slip stitch. Now from here, we're going to chain 2, and we're going to continue with our double crochet. So we're going to do 2 double crochet in every stitch. You should end up with 22 stitches. So boom, we've done our 2 double crochet in every stitch, leaving us with 22 double crochet. And you should be counting so that you don't think that you have to go into here. You shouldn't. Now again, and with every row after this, we're going to slip stitch into our first double crochet. So this right here is our chain 2. We're going to go into this stitch right here. If you pull it apart, you can see this hole. This is what we need to go into. So like I said, just going to slip stitch to end this row. And again, we're going to chain 2. The pattern for this row will be 1 double crochet in one stitch, in the next stitch 2 double crochet. So that's an increase. So 1 increase, 1 increase. We're going to do that all the way around. And our first double crochet for every row will always start in this first stitch where we slip stitch into. So if you counted correctly, your last stitch should have been an increase. And once again, we are not going into this right here. This does not count as a stitch. So once you're finished with this row, again, we're going to go into our first double crochet, which is right here. And we are going to slip stitch to end this row. And then again, chain 2 to start the next row. And this pattern will be similar to the one we just did, but a little different. So again, we're going to be starting in this first stitch right here where we slip stitched here. And we're going to do 1 double crochet, 1 double crochet, 2 double crochet. So 1, 1, increase, 1, 1, increase, and repeat that till you get back to the beginning. And once again, if you followed correctly, your last stitch should have been an increase. And then of course, slip stitch to close this row. Again, chain 2. Now this time our pattern is going to change. So what we're going to do is 2 double crochet in this first stitch, and then 1 double crochet in the next 10 stitches. So I've done my 2 and then my 10. Now in that stitch after my 10th double crochet, we're going to do an increase. 2. Then from here, we're going to repeat. Now we're back at the beginning, and if you've done it right, starting from here, including this increase, so which is 1 increase, 2, 3, and 4. So you should have done 4 increases in this row, ending your last stitch with your 10th double crochet. And then as usual, slip stitch and chain 2. So that last pattern we did for this row, we're just going to keep repeating that, but instead of 10, we're going to do 11. And then after that 12, then after that 13, and so on. But as usual, after you chain your 2, you're going to do increase in the beginning, which is 2 double crochet in this first stitch. And then 11 double crochet in the next stitch. So I've done my increase and my 11. Now the trick is, if you don't want to count, but if you're a beginner, you should count. But if you don't want to count, your next increase will be in the first increase of your previous row. So this is my 11, but this previous row we did our 10, right? This is our increase in our 10 row. As you can see, it's the 2 double crochet in 1 stitch. So our increase for this row will be in this first double crochet of the previous row. So right here. And then after this increase, we'll continue with our 11. And then our next increase after that will be again right here, our first double crochet in the increase in the previous row. If you don't understand, that's fine, just keep counting. But if you understand what I'm saying, it just makes this hat go so much quicker and so much easier. And it'll be the same for the rows that we're gonna do. So our 12, our 13, 14, it's gonna be the same. But if you'd like to be perfectly sure that you're counting correctly, do not do that little trick. But we're just gonna continue all the way around till we get back to the beginning. So you've just finished your 11. Now, in here, slip stitch, chain 2. And now we're gonna do our increase, then 12, increase 12, increase 12. And again, you'll see once you finish your first 12, your increase for this row will be right here. Just finished my 12, slip stitch, chain 2. Now we're gonna do increase 13, increase 13, repeat, come back. And again, we finished our 13. We're gonna slip stitch and chain 2 to start the next row. And again, we're gonna increase 14, increase 14, and so on. So I've just finished my 14. Now, as usual, slip stitch and chain 2. Now, when I make my beanies, I end my increases at the 14 row, but that's just because I like mine with a little bit of a tighter fit. But if you'd like a bigger hat, I'd say do your chain 2 and then do your increase 15, increase 15, and let that be the last row of your increase. But personally, I don't go until 15. So now we've done our chain 2, and since we're not increasing anymore, we're just gonna do double crochet all around. And remember, people, don't forget to take your water break, your snack break, your food break. Do not try to finish these projects all in one go. I know you may want to, and I do sometimes, even though I really shouldn't. Because the most important thing as a crocheter, or if you do anything with crafts, or if you're working with your hands, you need to take a break. You need to give your fingers, your hands, your wrists, your arms, your elbows, you need to give them a break. Like, I'm about to go get a drink of water, I'm about to get a snack, and I'm about to watch something, because breaks are super important. So I'll be taking my break before I do the rest of my double crochet rows. So this is how far I've gotten, and I think this is good enough for me to be able to take a break. If you want to do a few rows and then take your break, you know, do you, but don't just try to do it all in one go. Not that I'm telling you what to do, but it's better for your brain. It's just better. I finished my 6 rows, and this is what we're looking like. Usually for my beanies, I'd like it to cover my forehead more, but lately I've liked my forehead to be out, so this is the length I want to leave it at. Now, whether you did more rows or less rows, you have the option of stopping here and just leaving it as a beanie just like this. But now, if you'd like, we're going to move on to the ear flaps. But again, the ear flaps are optional. You don't have to do them. But personally, I feel like having the ear flaps makes the hat more secure, because you're also going to have those ears coming out. So, all right, you finished your row. Now, like I said, we're going to start with the ear flaps. So to join the row, we're going to slip stitch, if I could get it in there, and we're going to chain 2. Now we're gonna double crochet 12. So starting in this first stitch as usual where we slip stitched, that's gonna be our first one. And then we're just gonna do 11 more. So you've done your 12. Now from here, we're gonna chain 2 and we're gonna start decreasing. We're doing double crochet decrease. So you yarn over, insert in this first stitch, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, insert in this next stitch, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 3, and that's your decrease. So we've done 1 decrease, then we're gonna do 8 double crochet in the middle, and then 1 decrease at the end. So I've just finished my 8th double crochet. Now we're gonna decrease this end as well. So yarn over, insert, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, next stitch, insert, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 3. That's another decrease. So we've got decrease, 8 double crochet, decrease. Now again, we're going to chain 2, We're going to turn our work, and we're going to decrease again. Then we're going to do 6 double crochet, decrease, and then we're just going to keep decreasing for every row until you have 4 stitches left. So after this 6 decrease, chain 2, turn, decrease, 4, decrease, chain 2, turn, decrease, 2, decrease, but you know, I'll show you when we get there. So I've been decreasing for a few rows now, and in this last row I've just done, this is my decrease, 2 double crochet in the middle, and then decrease at the end, and that will be the last time you decrease for the ear flap. So you did decrease, 2 double crochet in the middle, decrease, we're going to chain 2, turn our work, and from here no more decrease, just 4 double crochet, because that's how many stitches we have left. So you could see 1, 2, 3, and 4. Is that 4? Yeah. Right? So we're going to chain 2, turn, and just repeat that. 4 double crochet. Now on Purin's hat, I did the 4 double crochet 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times, but it's good to try on the hat and, you know, like loop it under your chin just to see how long you want it to be. And also alternatively, if you have buttons, once you get to the end of, you could put it on whichever ear flap, but this is, you're just gonna sew your button on the end, the ear flap. But for either hat, there's also the option, if you don't have a button, you could just make the 4 double crochet across like really long so that you could like tie it under your chin, and like it could leave like a long tail for both ends, if that makes sense, if you don't have a button or if you'd rather not sew in a button. So those are the options available. So I'm just going to keep doing my 4 double crochet until I got to my 5 rows, and I'm going to come back. So I finished off all my rows. Now I'm just going to grab my scissors, cut this yarn, and weave it in later. Now from here we're going to make our second ear flap, but first you need to try the hat on just to see where you want the second one to come down. So if you need it, grab your stitch marker. Make sure you place the hat as far down your forehead as you want, or how far up. So for me, I'm going to place it up a little higher on my forehead. And then I kind of like to pull this side just to see what it's looking like, and then kind of compare where this ear flap is on my face. So it's a little closer to my hairline. So I'm thinking I might start my second ear flap here. So once you have that figured out, just go back if you need to watch the video and do the ear flap part again. It's gonna make a slip knot, grab your hook, insert your hook in the hole, and then put the yarn on, or the slip knot, and then chain 2, and then do your first double crochet in that same hole where you first inserted your hook. So you finished your beanie. Now we're moving on to the ears. So to start, we're gonna make a magic circle, and just how we started our beanie, we're gonna double crochet 11 into the magic circle. Done your 11, now you're gonna loosely pull on the tail, not too tight. Again, we're gonna slip stitch into that first double crochet, which is right here. And again, if you need to pull it apart, totally can. We're slip stitching right here. Okay, where I just told you to slip stitch, do not slip stitch into there. You're supposed to slip stitch into the stitch before that. So the stitch that I circled red, that is where you want to slip stitch. And then as usual, we're gonna chain 2. And again, like the beanie, we're gonna do 2 double crochet in every stitch. So you've done your 2 double crochet in every stitch. Now as usual, we're gonna slip stitch. We're gonna chain 2. And from here, we're still gonna be doing double crochet, but we're gonna do what's called an invisible double crochet. So I'll show you how to do that right now. And that is the only stitch we'll continue to do for now. So you've done your chain 2. And instead of working in the round, I just decided to do chain 2 because it's a bit easier to keep track of. So you've done your chain 2. Now you're gonna get your hook and you're gonna put it in your first chain. So just like this, right? And you're gonna yarn over through. And this is gonna act like you've already done your yarn over for your double crochet. And then we're just gonna double crochet around. So with these 2 loops on our hook, we're gonna go into our first stitch right here. Yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2, and do your regular double crochet. So you see this line right here. If you're working with yellow, it'll probably be a bit easier to see, but this line right here. We're gonna do the same. So we're gonna insert, yarn over, pull through, and this is acting like we've already yarn over, and then continue your double crochet as usual. And then you could see this line again, which is what we're gonna be going into. And if you're getting confused, once you insert your hook to do your double crochet, and the first time you yarn over and pull through, it's this top piece that we're going into when we start the next double crochet. So yarn over, and then right into here, pull through, go into your stitch. So it's this piece we'll be going into next time. See? So if you need a stitch marker to help you, you know. And the reason we're doing this stitch is because we have to fill the ears, so we don't want there to be any gaps or spaces that you'll be able to see the polyfill or whatever stuffing you're using. We don't want to be able to see that. When you are slip stitching, you're not just gonna do the regular slip stitch. Because we want no gaps or spaces, we're gonna go into this line or this loop like we've usually been doing, and then we're gonna slip stitch. So insert, yarn over, pull through, and then pull through these 2 loops. So you've done your chain 2, you're gonna insert in your first chain, yarn over, pull through, and then continue as if you're doing a regular double crochet. Go into this line, yarn over, pull through, continue your double crochet. Now for Purin's ears, you've done your 11 double crochet in the middle, then you've done your increase in every stitch, and then you'll have the 5 more rows of straight double crochet. And since this is my first time making longer ears, I'm assuming for Cinnamoroll's ears we'll do probably double that, but we'll see when we get there. So whether you're doing longer ears or shorter ears, we should all be at the same place now once you've done all your rows. And honestly, if you don't want to do as many rows as I did or as little rows as I did, you could choose the number yourself and then just constantly like compare it while you have the beanie on. So like put the ear against the beanie and look in the mirror, right? So for this ear, which I'm almost done with, you have your magic circle where you did your 11 double crochet, then you have your increase, which is 22, and then after those 2 rows, I just did 15 rows of straight double crochet or invisible double crochet. So after my 15 rows, we're gonna start decreasing. So like I said, no matter what length you had, we're all gonna be doing our increase right now. And if you will be stuffing your ear, you should be stuffing it as you go. But I don't like to stuff mine like right at the top if I'm still working, because I don't want the hook to get stuck in the polyfill. Just to close our last row, we're just gonna do our slip knot. Right. Now to start decreasing, we're gonna chain 2, and we're still doing invisible double crochet. So it might look like a lot what we're about to do since we're doing invisible double crochet and we're decreasing. But the pattern for this row will be 1 double crochet, 1 decrease, 1 double crochet, 1 decrease. And I'll show you how we do that right now. I'm gonna start how we usually start, which is going into this first chain, yarning over, pull through, and as usual, we go into this first stitch to do our first invisible double crochet. And now to do our decrease, we're still, because we want there to be no holes, we're still gonna go into this loop we've been going through, yarn over, pull through, and as usual in our next stitch, insert, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2. And now instead of doing a regular decrease, like I said, we don't want any holes, so we're gonna go into this loop right here, just like this, right? So this is acting like we've yarned over. Then we're gonna go into our next stitch. Okay, I've made the same mistake again. So to do the decrease, you're still gonna go into that loop like you've been, just like I showed you. You're gonna yarn over and pull through 2, and then when you insert your hook into your next loop, you're gonna yarn over and pull through that loop instead of just inserting and then going into your next stitch. Insert, yarn over, pull through, and now it looks like a regular decrease. So yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 3, right? So we did 1 double crochet, 1 decrease. Let's continue. And from here, if you don't know where to put your hook, it's this loop right here, this one. So insert, yarn over, pull through. This is going to be a regular double crochet. Insert, yarn over, pull through two, pull through two. And I'll just continue along just so you could see what I'm doing in case this stitch is a little confusing to you. So I just did a decrease. Now just a regular double crochet or invisible double crochet. Now a decrease to the loop, yarn over, pull through this hole, through two, this loop, yarn over, pull through, next stitch, pull through two, pull through three. All right, so like I said, I'll just keep going. And when you're finished with your decrease, we're not going to touch these stitches. I messed up and I went through one of these in one of the last stitches, but we're looking at this. So this. So there's two on here, but we only need to go through this first one, right? Invisible double crochet. Now invisible decrease is what I'm just going to call it. Oh, can't see, sorry. Next stitch. So if you want to go back and count, you should end up with 14 stitches. And now, as usual, to close this row, just gonna slip in, we're just gonna invisible slip stitch. Pull through those two. All right, now we're gonna chain two, and this whole row we're just gonna decrease. So we've done our chain two. We're gonna insert in our first chain, yarn over, pull through. In this first stitch, insert, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through two, insert into this next loop, yarn over, pull through, into the next stitch, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through two, yarn over, pull through three. And we're just gonna keep repeating that decrease. And again, if you're confused on where to put your hook next, it's into this right here, this loop right here. So we're gonna insert, yarn over, through. Next stitch. All right. Now this will leave you with an odd number of stitches, but that's fine. So before you finish this row, you're gonna wanna fill this. So don't touch this last stitch. You're gonna end with an odd number of stitches. So you're gonna end with 7 stitches, and you need 2 stitches to do a decrease. So in this 7th stitch, what we're gonna do is we're gonna pretend we're making a decrease. So like we've been doing, go in your loop, yarn over, pull through, into your last stitch, which is the odd number, insert, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2, go through your loop, pull through. And now instead of slip stitching, we're gonna complete this decrease in where we're supposed to slip stitch. So this stitch right here, and we're gonna yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 3. So now we're working in the round. Now we're just gonna keep on decreasing until this hole is closed, but we're doing single crochet decrease now, which is easier than double crochet decrease. So this is where we slip stitch, so we're not going into that stitch. We're going right in here. So single crochet decrease, insert in the hole, yarn over, pull through, find your next stitch. So we're here, we're about to go in here, insert, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through all 3. And you're just gonna keep on single crochet decreasing until this hole is closed. So I probably only have to do it maybe 2 or 3 more times for this hole to be completely closed. So just to show you me closing this hole, I'm gonna insert, yarn over, pull through into our next stitch, which is right here, yarn over, pull through, and yarn over, pull through 3. Now I could keep going if I want, but the hole is fine to me, plus it won't be seen when we sew it anyway. But this is gonna be your ear. Now from here, you're gonna wanna leave a longish tail because this is the top end, which will be sewing into the hat. So for me, maybe this is good. Do that again for your second ear and then come back. Now for Purin's hat, I'll be using this orange color so that you could see better. But you're just gonna start off with a magic circle, And we're basically just starting his hat like we've started the beanies. So we're gonna double crochet 11 into the magic circle. So you've done your 11. Now we're not gonna pull this all the way closed. We wanna leave a hole about this big, right? And of course, to close, we're gonna slip stitch into our first double crochet, which is here. So we're going in this stitch. Yarn over, pull through, right? So remember, you need to leave this hole because this is where the little stem part of his hat is gonna come through. And same with the beanie, this pattern will be increase in every stitch. So 2 double crochet in every stitch around. And again, to end this row, slip stitch to this stitch right here. Chain 2, and this next pattern will be 1 double crochet, increase, 1 double crochet, increase, and repeat that till you get back to the beginning. Again, to close the row, slip stitch to your first double crochet. Chain 2, and we'll be doing 1 double crochet, 1 double crochet, increase, 1 double crochet, 1 double crochet, increase, and repeat and come back. And again, finish the row, slip stitch into your first double crochet, chain 2. Now finally, no more increasing, no more counting. We're just gonna do a whole row of double crochet. Meet me back here. So we finished our row of double crochet, slip stitch, chain 2. And now this is going to be our last row. We're gonna do 1 double crochet, 1 double crochet, decrease, double crochet, decrease, so on. And we're doing a decrease so that the hat can curve into itself, so it'll mimic a beret. And we're not going to be doing invisible decrease or invisible double crochet. So this is going to be our first double crochet, and then our double crochet decrease, which is just yarn over, insert, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over into the next stitch, insert, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 3, and that's a decrease. So we'll be doing double crochet, decrease, and so on till we get back to the beginning. Unless I miscounted, you may end up with your last stitch being a decrease, but there isn't enough space for a decrease. So if that's the case, you've just done your double crochet, you could do another double crochet, or you could take out both of those double crochets and you could just do another decrease next to this decrease. I probably just counted wrong, but either way, it's fine. Nobody's gonna see the bottom of the hat. And then to end Purin's hat, we're just gonna slip stitch. And we'll also leave a long tail for this so that we could sew it into his head. This is what it's looking like, but of course we'll be pushing it down just like this. Right? And this is what it'll look like. Now this is optional, but for Purin's first hat, I stuffed the rim part, you could say, with polyfill. I didn't do too much, just a little, kind of just spread it out a bit, just so it could have a little bit of cushion. But this is optional, you don't have to do this. Of course, I have to fill it more there, but since you'll be sewing it down onto the hat, you don't really need to like sew anything else, right? And for Purin's hat, you're just gonna make a slip knot and you're gonna chain 8. Now from here, we won't be going into this chain right here, but the one after it, so here. So not this one, but this one. And we're just gonna single crochet down. And now we're just gonna chain 1, turn, and just keep repeating that until it kind of forms like a cylinder type shape. Well, I did 6 rows of 5 single crochet. You could see when I put both sides together, it kind of creates that stem. Now from here, you have 2 options. You could slip stitch both sides together, and I'll show you what that looks like. Or you could just cut a long tail and sew it together. And honestly, I feel like sewing it may be better, because when you slip stitch it, it kind of leaves this like bulky thing, this like bulky piece, which also makes the stem appear thinner. Because usually I like to stuff it with cotton, but this time I didn't. But yeah, you have the option of either slip stitching or sewing, but this is what it'll look like. So whatever you decide to do, if you slip stitch it, you'll still need to cut a little bit of tail so that you can attach it. And you're gonna put it in from the top. Ignore this string coming up. You can pull it down a little more if you like. And this is what it'll look like. You could pull it down or up. And then you could grab the tail from his hat and pull it so you could tighten the stem in the hole. So it's definitely more secure if you decide you don't want to sew the stem into the hat, but this is what it's looking like. Now you've got the hat and you've got the ears. Now it's time to assemble everything. And as for the ears, oh, they're big. They're bigger than I thought, but honestly, the length is fine. But when you look at a picture of Purin's ears and Cinnamoroll's ears, you kind of see how they're like flat, sort of, on the top of their head. So it's just like, kind of like forms like this, right? So that's kind of how I try to do it for Purin's hat too. And this is where I'll grab my stitch markers, just like hold it in place a bit while I sew one. So that's about it for now. Go sew everything together and come back. Okay, I finished sewing everything together. One thing I will say, if you did make the Cinnamoroll hat, it does look a little plain Jane. So maybe if you have a blue or a light blue yarn, I think I may make a bow. And maybe just like add it over here, like on one of the ears. While I'd assume like a random person could look at this and just assume that it is a bunny. So I like it, but if I wanted to spice it up a little, that's what I definitely do. But I love how this turned out because this is my first time like even making like ears this long, and I really do like them. But let's put on Purin's hat now. Also, if you see this bruise right here, don't be alarmed. Like, I didn't get punched in my face. It's because of the eyebrow piercing. But even if you just wanted to wear it like this, like with the ear flaps coming down, like, that's cute too. But I'm not gonna lie, I think I do like Purin's hat just a little better because I think this one definitely has a lot more going on for it. And I don't know, I feel like the ears look so small and so cute, and the hat, how it just, I love it. I don't know, like the little ears are just so cute. I'm really happy if you guys did make it this far into the video. This was so fun to make like a full length tutorial because I've made like tutorials for other hats like on my TikTok. Kind of had to be rushed because there was a 10-minute limit. So actually getting to like make it and like talk and just it was very fun, very, very fun. Like when you compare them, like these ears are so much longer. But I really hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial and it's helpful. And of course, if you have any questions, just let me know. Either leave them down in the comments or you could DM me on TikTok or Instagram. And I mean, if you want to be slay, you could follow me on both of those too. And you could also subscribe on here, just you know, want to be slay. But if not, that's all right. But yeah, that's really it. So thanks.